but it is with God's strength that we ask man. We ask purpose-driven. Philippians 4:6 says this, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. Matthew 7:7 says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. Isaiah 41 says, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not anxiously look about, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Take encouragement from that. That whilst Daniel in oppression asked God and believed that God would work through him as he asked. Be brave and be courageous. Step out in your faith and ask. Who is it that you need to invite to spend some time with you? Who is it that needs to hear the message of the gospel? Not in a forceful, pushy, awkward way, but in a way that is relevant and that is real for them. Who is it that you need to invite into your home, into church, into a home group, into youth group? Who is it that you need to ask with courage, believing that God's favour is upon it, believing that God's favour is upon you? Don't let false humility stop you from asking God. Yesterday, Phoebe and I spent a lot of time in a conference that was around helping people who are in business to get headspace and heart space and get a deposit from God. And we were able to listen to a couple of huge entrepreneurs. One of them was one of the original founders of the Gloria Jeans franchise. He ended up selling that Gloria Jeans business for about $165 million about 4 years ago to a business called Retail Food Group. The other guy was a guy that had started a company. What was the name of the company? Paladin Finance, which now holds assets of over $1 billion. But both of the guys came from nothing. This isn't a rah-rah kind of God will provide amazing finance and blessing sermon, right? This is a sermon that says that if you don't ask God and believe that God is able to do amazingly, exceedingly, abundantly more than you can ask or think, God will give you exactly what you ask for. So why not ask for it all? Why not ask that God will give you all that is in your heart? Why not ask that God will show favour upon your life? He said His grace extends unto you just as it extends unto everybody else. Yeah. There is no less grace that you have access to.
Amen.
So with courage, like Daniel, ask. The third thing Daniel, I think, would share with us is resist the temptation to complain. 4 different kings, 4 changes, 4 cultural things that happened. A life lived in oppression. The poor bloke was neutered. He lost he was hurt. He was oppressed. The favour that he had with one king stopped, and then he was thrown in the lion's den with another. Daniel would say, I could have complained about becoming a slave, getting death threats from King Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar's attitude, King Darius's gullible nature, or the fact that I wound up in a lion's den. But complaining would not have got him anywhere. I want my kids to learn this. James 5:9. Audrey, this is for you. Do not grumble against one another, brothers, so that you may not be judged. behold, the judge is standing at the door. No more grumbling, babe. 1 Thessalonians, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Ephesians 4, let no corrupt talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Don't waste your time whinging and complaining. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. God has said that there is power in the words that we say. That our tongue has so much influence over the direction of our life and our heart. As simple as it can be is stop the whinge. Be conscious of it. Let your purpose be that I'm not going to be a whinger. I'm not going to be one of those people that comes up and the only thing I can do to gain interest in the conversation is tell you the problems that I have. Let your life speak blessing. Let your life speak praise. Let your life speak rejoicing. Amen. I wonder if after church today we can share with each other a win that we've had. Yes. A culture where we share, this is where God has helped me win.
That's awesome.
When in our monthly sales meetings in the business that I work in, we get our team to take photos with them and their clients where we've had a win. You know why we do that? And we get them to share. So tomorrow when we have the sales meeting in the morning, it'll be up on the big screen, a big photo of the client, the big photo of one of the team members of the team. They share the story of how they had a win with the client.
That's awesome.
The win reminds us and encourages the rest of us that it's possible. The win reminds us and encourages us that there's more out there than just the problems. The win encourages us in our headspace so that our mind doesn't just focus exclusive. I know there are problems. But when you can verbalize the win, you can overcome your problem. And what greater win do we have than when Jesus overcame sin and sickness and death itself for us. For us, he gave his life. For us, he won. For us, he took it all on his shoulders. And we have no greater victory than that. So I thank God with my words. I thank God with my moments. And I don't give time to my whinge. Number 4, resist the urge to quit. I think Daniel would say, I can't tell you how many times I wanted to quit. Sometimes it seemed like the harder I worked, the stronger the opposition came. But I never gave up. I never threw in the towel. I felt the urge to quit, but I had to resist it. Had I quit, I would have never done what God had called me to do, and it would not be God's fault.
Yes. Wow.
Resist the urge to quit. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not lose heart in doing good, for in due time we will reap if we do not grow weary. Philippians 3:14 says, I press on toward the goal for the prize, for the upward call of God in Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 9 says, do you not know that those who run in a race all run,